Hello and welcome to another edition of the NRS Insights podcast. I'm John Lovestock, and I am again today joined by Susie Silliman, the Senior Vice President of Data Strategy and Sales at NRS, and Brandon Thurber, the Vice President of Data Sales and Client Success at NRS. And today we will be discussing the NRS Insights November 2024 Retail Same Store Sales Report. Now, for
Did
those
you miss me last month?
we did.
Happy to be back.
You took a little early Thanksgiving break, I see.
Yep.
But you guys are growing. So for those of you who don't know, NRS now reaches more than 33,000 active terminals nationwide, scanning purchases at 29,000 independent retailers. And for the month of November, a whopping 1.8 billion in sales went through 124 million transactions at NRS POS terminals, which is pretty cool. So the data you guys get is pretty spot on. So for November 2024, we saw some good news. Retail same-store sales increased 6.6% year over year. And other key highlights before I hand it over to Susie and Brandon. Units sold were up 4.5%. Transactions rose 3.2%. And my favorite, chocolate and then energy drinks also saw a bit of a rebound month. So with that, how'd I do, Susie? Did I hit the high points?
Yeah, you definitely hit the high points. And John, it's always important to talk about units sold and transactions when we're talking about dollar sales growth, because we want to make it pretty clear that this is not just about, a price increase that has gone through or inflation, that we're really seeing the increase in actual units sold and traffic as well. So November was a perfect month to really display that, which we've been consistently seeing month over month, year over year.
Very good. So, Brandon, one of the things that you and I had discussed both last month and when I saw you in person at the NAC show was some of the things that are struggling along. So, how did other tobacco, sports drinks, fruit juices, how did they do? How are they holding up?
So tobacco did okay. They had from a dollar perspective, decent month. They right around this time of year go through their typical price increase, so that is helping them in a trend that is continuing to drive not only a lot of traffic. It's actually the second biggest contributor of the increase in baskets year to date is smokeless tobacco, and that smokeless tobacco, the primary driver there is alternative nicotine. So the alternative nicotine subset of that, consumers are buying at a rapid pace, potentially switching from other types of tobacco, potentially new to the category, etc. But we're seeing a ton of growth in baskets and dollars and units in that category.
Okay. So while November is a short month in terms of days, and then we had Thanksgiving thrown in there. Susie, you've been tracking, yeah, I know Black Friday, Small Business Saturday is something that we've talked about in the past. What was last month like in regard to both of those days?
Right. So both Black Friday and Small Business Saturday performed on par with the month in terms of sort of having a strong performance versus year ago. However, it's interesting when you compare Black Friday and Small Business Saturday with the average Friday and Saturday in November, those sales were actually down. So Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday was sort of the lowest performing Friday, Saturday combination in November. And that is something, John, if you recall, last year we talked about in terms of our stores predominantly being, urban, inner city residential. And we find that, there's a lot of those regular shoppers over Thanksgiving weekend that are leaving and going sort of outside of their neighborhood to, family, friends for the holiday, or also from a shopping perspective, not necessarily shopping local, but going to the shopping malls, outlet malls, etc. So again, we saw that phenomenon happen this year, which we called out last year, really for the first year that we noticed that.
And I read a story, you'll like this one, Susie, that 1 in 6 people who take the, what do they call them, the GLPs, the Ozempics and everything, that
GLP-1.
they are going to stop taking them around the holidays so they could eat
Oh,
more. One in
well,
six.
It's
that'll be interesting.
that's consistent with the whole diet philosophy. Like I'll start in New Year's after this is all, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you enjoy those, and then you kind of get it back together January.
But yeah, sort of separate from the whole GLP phenomenon, which I think continues to evolve. Last month we talked about how beverages, Bevel, non-alcoholic beverages, et cetera, had a really robust month. And we saw the same thing happen this month. I mean, beverages, almost every beverage category experienced growth. There were, a handful that didn't. You called out energy drinks having another rebounding month. Reading a lot of the sort of industry media, et cetera, that is not concentrated only to our network. Energy drinks seem to be on some type of a recovery, so it'll be interesting to see if that continues over the next couple of months. Oh, the other thing that we saw really for the first time this month, and this falls into the beverage category as well, is the more of the hot drinks, right? So we talk a lot about, the prepared drinks, of course the alcohol, but the packaged beverage drinks, refrigerated drinks, et cetera. But we saw this month the coffee, tea, and cocoa categories where you brew at home had a really strong month as well.
Tell you what, Susie, I took a Black Friday deal and I bought the Nespresso
Oh,
machine with those little pods. It's not cheap. It's like it comes out to about $1, but I'll tell you what, that makes a
yeah.
good cup of coffee.
I have uh, a different coffee brewer, I guess, single serve coffee brewer, not that one, but my hair salon has that one. And I am always very impressed by the cup of coffee that I am presented at my hair salon. It's delicious.
It
And
is
I contemplate, but I haven't made the leap.
it is definite. The technology is definitely getting better and better, which just shows the demand. That's kind of what we're starting to see. And now I wanted to say too, with the energy drinks, one of the things that also drives up energy drinks, and I'm not sure, you probably don't track these numbers, is the on-premise stuff. In bars, Red Bull is like the number one mixer in bars with tequilas, with vodkas. And I know tequila is doing very well, but I'm wondering if people are buying these energy drinks now as mixers around the holidays. I see. I don't know.
So primarily we see a lot of single serve.
Mhm.
So it's possible. I mean, our spirits categories are up. Tequila's up. I mean, uh, compared to last month, over 20%.
Wow.
I'm sorry, not last month, over a year ago.
Mhm.
It's still becoming it's the spirit of choice other than the ready to drink cocktail. These days, it's outpacing the rest of the category substantially. But I still think while that might be a benefit, the primary use of energy is you're on the go, you need a boost, and that's what the consumer prefers.
All right. So obviously we are approaching mid-December and is the Christmas season. Any early indications of what's selling, what the demand is at the stores or for consumers? Is it gift cards? Are we seeing last minute gift ideas? I think, this is one of the other things we've talked about over the years is that companies, like retail operators like 7-Eleven and some of the more traditional C-store guys have gotten into actual gifts, the drones, the puzzles or whatever, something you could actually wrap up and give to somebody versus just having a gift card mall where you can put it in a card and be done with it.
So we know that popular or not, spirits are often a gift, a bottle,
Oh,
and
yeah.
typically December is the best month from a seasonality perspective in our network for all spirits. So we would anticipate that we'll see it appear like bottles are having a bit of a recovery in the month of December. I would think that those would be more of a gift than the prepared cocktails. So we'll want to keep an eye on how that plays off of one another.
Likewise with wine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that wine cocktails, kind of that single serve wine item across many brands, is becoming very popular. But there would likely be a little bit of a resurgence of the bottle.
Okay. So busy time of year, Susie. Anything I missed? Anything that wasn't in the report that you'd care to mention?
No, I think we covered everything.
Okay. So when you get, I just have one more question, and that is on something to keep an eye on. You mentioned cocoa and chocolate. Um, we could be looking at higher prices down the road in terms of on ingredients and imports and things like that. Is that something we should keep an eye on over the next year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it impacts all categories. Um, you called out the chocolate category for sure, but also when you think about the Bevel categories, there's significant imports. When you think about tequila particularly, or even where particular beer brands are being manufactured. So imposing tariffs on some of these categories will definitely have an impact to the retail price, right? So it might and is not going to likely be that 25% that is sort of levied on the product coming in, but from a trickle down perspective, likely will, be in that 10% area.
Okay.
So, from a price elasticity perspective, most categories are not entirely inelastic. So, where, will it hit a threshold in terms of, an actual price that it achieves that folks start weighing their options or scale back in terms of their consumption or trade down to a lower priced option in the category. Or is it just sort of the fluctuation of typical price elasticity?
Okay. Brandon, any closing words from you?
Nope, I think we covered most of it.
Good, good. It's a great report. So can you tell everybody where we can sign up and get it?
Yeah, set your Google Alerts to the NRS same store sales report, or go to our parent company, IDT.net.
Excellent. So this will be our final one before the holidays,
Yeah.
before Christmas for those of you. So Merry Christmas. And I want to thank everyone for joining us.
See you in 2025.
Hey, there we go. All right. So for
Okay.
Susie and Brandon, I'm John Lovestock. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We wish you a very happy holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you on a future podcast. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Bye-bye.